February 16th, 1:14 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 4. Mr. Falls. Huh? I'm sorry. I want to say thanks. You're really good. You really hooked me up. Thanks, we're almost there. Once I prove that she committed the crime. Yeah, but there's one more big obstacle you've got to get past. Obstacle? Yeah, motive. Why would Melissa Foster kill that policewoman anyway? Motive, huh? Anyway, we're still badly in need of information. Information, right. What we need the most is info about this Melissa Foster herself. All we know is that she's a student studying literature. And one more thing. What is it? Well, the incident that happened 5 years ago, of course. The kidnapping murder case that Zebra Boy is on death row for. I didn't do nothing! I didn't kill nobody! I never lie! Mr. Falls, in that case, tell us more about it. About what happened 5 years ago. Okay, I trust you. That day, 5 years ago, I dream of it every day. This picture, it reminds me of everything. Bridge looks the same, just like then, 5 years ago. Like it would fall apart any minute. So it's been broken like that for at least 5 years? Huh, sorry buddy, but you sound like the one that could fall apart at any minute. It's true, I did kidnap her. 5 years ago, I kidnapped my girlfriend, Dahlia Hawthorne. Oh my god. Your girlfriend, huh? Hey, hold on there. Did you say Hawthorne? The victim's last name. Dahlia Hawthorne. Valerie's little sister. What? Are you serious? Is he gonna mention they look the same? That girl. Let her go! So this is 11 years ago from the present. Shut up, come closer and I'll kill her. Sorry, but you're not going to get the chance. The detective back then was Valerie Hawthorne. At first I thought shooting for someone for a kidnapping was crossing the line, but if it was to protect her little sister, I could understand why she did it. Wrong, no protect sister. Valerie betrayed me, betray us. What do you mean she betrayed you? Everything, all lies, all make-believes, kidnapping too. A make-believe kidnapping? Dahlia, my girlfriend, my love, my teen angel. Did he actually say my teen angel? He's seen one too many soap operas. I do anything she says, anything Dahlia says. Anything Dahlia says? Hold on a minute. What you're saying is that the kidnapping 5 years ago was planned by... Yeah, me and Dahlia. And Valerie too. Valerie was in on it? Dahlia's family is rich. Jewelry business. We got one jewel. That's what we thought. Me and Dahlia wrote kidnap note. We sent to her dad. Ask for $2 million diamond. Tell him make exchange on Dusky Bridge. We tell him Valerie made transfer because she knew detective. Having a police detective in your pocket is useful. In the end, you were planning on splitting the $2 million 3 ways, huh? Yes, but... That woman, Valerie, she did it for real. She's shooting me for real, me and Dahlia. I was shot in the arm. Dahlia, she jumped into the river. Jumped? You don't mean she jumped on purpose, do you? I couldn't do it. I could never push her. Anyway, I blacked out. Wake up with police all over me. And that's when she decided to give you the death sentence. I couldn't believe it. That woman, she betrayed me. It's like there's an island of people who fell into the river. And Dahlia's there. It's like, I'm gonna become Melissa Foster because imposter. He threw my beloved sister into the roaring river 40 feet below. These 5 years, all I wonder is why? Why? Why did she lie? That's all I want to know. So that's why you called her. You want to hear the truth from Valerie herself. Yes, but I forget what she looked like, so I tell her to wear a scarf. I don't want to hurt her. Just ask why. Why did you lie? Why did you betray me? I just want to hear answer come from her mouth. That's all. So that's why you made a crazy escape like that? Just one thing, Zebra Boy. My senses are tingling all over. Tell me, Mr. Fawkes, where is it? Huh? Where's what? Come on now, kitten. The ransom, the $2 million diamond. Remember that now? Did you get it back from Pops? Did the police take it? I don't know. Huh? You don't know? No, really, I don't know. It's gone with Dahlia. With Dahlia? That day on the bridge. Dahlia put it in backpack. Now gone with Dahlia. Gone forever. Into Eagle River. It disappeared with Dahlia, huh? Wait a minute. You can come back in now. We're about ready to go. Mr. Falls, just one more question. When you said with Dahlia, do you mean the diamond is still missing? Along with the body of Dahlia Hawthorne? Never found her, my sweet Dahlia. You never found her? Swallowed by the river. Gone. Dahlia, my teen angel. Teen angel? How old was she anyway? Just 14. 14? Guess you were robbing cradles before diamonds. Huh? She plans a fake kidnapping and disappears into the river with a rock worth $2 million. Man, oh man. Angels these days. Falls took the fall. He gets a one-way ticket to death row. Is Dahlia Hawthorne an angel, or is she really a... It's time, kitten. It looks like we have a few more aces up our sleeves now. You bet. So the way I think this is going to go down is we're going to find out that Melissa's actually Dahlia. And that's why she's called Dahlia 1 year later. At the start of this game, she was called Dahlia, but in this one she's not. So I guess they find out her identity. But it must lead into a certain way. Maybe someone else. Maybe someone else killed Valerie, or whatever her name is. And it wasn't Dahlia, so no matter what, Dahlia is innocent. Or maybe they don't have the right information to prove she's innocent, to prove she's guilty, and she ends up being let out. Who knows? The training wheels come off now, Mia. You've got to strike while the iron is hot. It's one of my rules. Remember it. Hey, Godot. I got my coffee. Now then, let's continue with the trial of Mr. Terry Falls. Witness, are you feeling better? Yes, Your Honor. I'll try my best. God damn it. You're a brave young lady. Not this again. I can understand a defense lawyer wanting to get her client off the hook. However, to try to pin the crime on an innocent student is... What are you talking about? My witness is not the person on trial here. She's an innocent bystander who witnessed a violent crime, that's all. What possible reason would a girl like this have for murdering a policewoman? It's certainly hard to imagine this woman is a murderer. Her motive, huh? I figure that's what I had to establish next. Well, Miss Fey, do you have any evidence of a motive? Yes, of course. I think. Huh. You're still acting as tame as a kitten. Really? I thought I had something there. Like, present the diamond, prove she's Dahlia Hawthorne, she was at the bridge. Listen, a lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets. Smiling on the outside where your guts are twisted in knots is the mark of a pro. Maybe so, but I wish you would stop quit grinning at me like that. Excuse me, may I speak, Mr. Judge? Of course, Mr. Judge is ready anytime you like. I'd like to say something. Some people here are suspicious of me, right? That's why I at least wanted you, Mr. Judge, to know that it's not true. I see. You're such an honest and upstanding lady. Looks like the witness is a real professional. What do you mean? Look at that 100-watt smile. Just when things are as dark as for her, click, she lights right up. Very well then, let's hear what the witness has to say. I was out of work until... I was out of the country until the year before last. Before I entered college, I'd never even been to Eagle Mountain before. I certainly don't have any reason for wanting to hurt a police officer. Holding a grudge and killing an officer is I'm the officer who testified against you 5 years ago. Or kidnapping a young girl, a poor girl. I understand the defendant is a terrible, horrible monster. How do you know it was a young girl? Precisely. Furthermore, she has no possible motive for committing the murder. Indeed. You're up to bat, kitten. Sharpen those claws and put on your best smile. You bet. Somehow I have to tie her to this case. So, what country were you living in then? You were all living abroad, but after my parents were killed. It was a brutal civil war. She had to try to make her way back home alone. I lost everything. I didn't even have any personal identification. What kind of sub-story is this? What do I do? Should I press hard for details? Yeah. Witness, answer my question. I'll even repeat it for you. What country were you in? Your Honor, this line of questioning is childish. What country she was in and how many languages she speaks are irrelevant here. What we're here to evaluate is whether the witness has any connection to this case. I've lived abroad ever since I was a little girl. That's why I could never have known Mr. Falls or Detective Hawthorne. Yes, I think we're established that point. Yes, indeed. Well then, shall we add what you just stated to the official testimony? Yes, please, Mr. Judge. Naturally, I didn't know either the victim or the defendant. A grudge. Well, the policewoman's testimony was crucial, wasn't it? Crucial in getting the defendant sentenced to death. Yes, and that's precisely why he harbored such deep anger against her. So much anger that he forgot his own guilt. My client has always maintained that he's innocent of those charges. He seems rather forgetful, your client, I mean. Ow. Not only did he forget about what he did, but he forgot the poor policewoman as well. What do you mean by that? Your client, he forgot what the detective looked like, right? It's too bad for her that he didn't forget about her testimony as well. Well, she's right about that. Mr. Falls is kind of forgetful. You said he forgot what the detective looked like. What do you mean by that? Well, he couldn't tell who she was without some kind of identification, right? Quite right. That's why the victim was wearing a scarf as identification. Why, if I had been wearing a white scarf that day, then he probably would have tried to kill me. That's true. He's clearly a bitter man. This is bad. Mr. Falls' reputation just keeps getting worse and worse. Sometimes it's best not to poke too deep. What should I do with the last statement? Have it edited. Your Honor, what the witness just said just now was tremendously important. I'd like to add it to the testimony. The prosecution has no objection. After all, the defendant is a killer and a mentally unbalanced one at that. That testimony only helps to further prove that point. No, that's not what I... Enough, witness, if you would. My pleasure, Mr. Judge. I guess I'm lucky I wasn't wearing a white scarf. How the hell do you know it was a white scarf he was looking for? Scarf. Where's the scarf?
Objection!
Witness, I want you to look at this photo you took. It's hard to see in this photo, but look at the scarf the victim wore as identification. Are you talking about the scarf right here? Yes, that's it, the scarf that the policewoman was wearing. I've got her now, just don't mess up. But that's strange. In your testimony you stated the following. I guess I'm lucky I wasn't wearing a white scarf. What, white? This is the scarf you identified as belonging to the victim. But it certainly doesn't look white to me. Oh? Well, it was foggy that day and it was raining as well. I'm not surprised that she mistook it for white. Sorry, but not this time. The witness just confirmed that this was the victim's scarf. Yes, but what's the significance? It's true that the scarf doesn't look white, but there's only one explanation for this mix-up. The reason why the witness thought the scarf was white is... Witness, have you ever seen this note? Note? No. Never. It's top secret evidence. There's no reason that you would've. Oh, wait a minute. I wonder about that. Talk to Dahlia. Tell her the time the whole truth must come out. Tell her this time the whole truth must come out. She knew Dahlia was alive and they connected to her. Okay, this is good. What do you mean? This note shows Mr. Fall's instructions to the victim regarding their meeting. It says, wear white scarf for identification. White scarf? Witness, you knew what the note said. There's no other there's no other possible reason for you to mistake the scarf's color. Well, Miss Foster. Mr. Edgeworth, I'm waiting for an explanation. I'm quite sure this note wasn't leaked to the public. And yet, this witness knew exactly what the note said. At the time of the murder, the number of people that knew were quite limited. Terry Falls is one, the person who wrote the note, Valerie Hawthorne, is another. And finally, one more person. Did you say one more person? That's right, a person that no one would have suspected. Have you figured it out, kitten? Yep. Third person that knew the contents of the note. Dahlia Hawthorne. And that person is Dahlia Hawthorne. Dahlia Hawthorne? Never heard that name before. Look at the victim's note. This is what it says. Talk to Dahlia to tell her this time. There is her name right there. What's this? So who is this person? This Dahlia Hawthorne. Miss Fey must be desperate if she's trying to bring this dead back to life. The dead? Dahlia Hawthorne was the victim's deceased younger sister. She was killed in a crime 5 years ago. Killed in a crime? You don't mean... Yes, she was kidnapped and killed by Terry Falls. You said she was killed, but was she really? What are you implying? Of course, people thought she had died 5 years ago, when she fell off the Dusky Bridge and was lost in the Eagle River. However, her corpse was never found. She was declared legally dead 5 years ago. As far as the law is concerned, Dahlia Hawthorne is officially dead. But the fact remains that her body was never recovered. Dahlia Hawthorne was 14 years old 5 years ago. If she was still alive now, she'd be 19. Melissa Foster. I believe that's the same age you are. Even you couldn't, Miss Fey. You're not saying... I am. But I am. That's precisely what I'm saying. This witness before us is the girl that was kidnapped and killed 5 years ago. This girl is in fact Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Huh, nice work. That was like tossing a grenade into a 3-alarm fire. But unless you can tie all loose ends together, you're nothing but a hit-and-run arsonist. I understand. If I can expose her true nature, I can turn this whole case on its head. Now is my chance to make Edgeworth squirm. Witness! Just who are you anyways? I didn't think it'd come to this. That's enough. You don't have to say any more, witness. Yes, I understand. What? Mr. Edgeworth, explain yourself. Your Honor, I have an admission to make. I honestly never thought the defense would pursue this matter this far. You don't mean... Yes, the prosecutor's office isn't filled with fools, you know. Naturally, we conducted a full background checks on all our witnesses. What did he say? Huh, looks like the kid knew. He knew our true identity from the get-go. No way, but then why? If he hadn't revealed her secret, he wasn't going to say anything about it. All he wanted was her testimony, so he made a little trade. Let me introduce you to the victim's youngest sister, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. But I thought she died 5 years ago. We thought so as well. But, well, as you can see... Why did she hide her identity? That has nothing to do with the current case. She was merely an accidental witness to a crime. accidental. I don't believe that for a minute. For the last 5 years, she's been playing the role of victim. And now we find her acting suspiciously at another murder scene? Really, Miss Fey, what strategies? Your strategy is clearly obvious. You're trying to pin your client's crime on an innocent witness in order to win. At any cost. How dare you? Please, let us take a moment to think. 5 years ago, that girl was kidnapped and nearly killed. But even worse than that, 5 years later, Dahlia Hawthorne lost something much more precious, her big sister. Miss Fey must be insane to even suggest that she murdered her. I'm inclined to agree with the prosecutor's logic. Miss Fey, do you have any evidence to back up your assertion? What possible reason would the witness have for killing her beloved sister? Well, you see, I thought I was winning, but somehow he's turned it around on me. Huh. I think you need a little push in the right direction, kiddo. The defense is prepared to present evidence supporting her claim. That wasn't me. It was this guy, the crazy coffee addict. I think we've heard enough empty threats from you. What makes you think they're empty, boy? Because your protege looks like she's sweating bullets. I am sweating bullets. You think you're in a tough spot, huh? Of course, aren't I? No. You just arrived at the moment of truth, that's all. Whether you win or lose, that's up to you. Up to me? The rashness of youth. How charming. This coming from someone younger than me. Now then, let's not waste any more time. What motive would this witness have for murdering her own sister? It's the victim's note. She was going to tell. Tell her this time. The whole truth must come out. About, what do you call it? About why she betrayed them. I'm guessing that's the secret they're talking about. The story starts after Terry Falls escaped. He called Valerie and told her wanted to meet. This is the note she left. It says, talk to Dahlia. Tell her this time. The whole truth must come out. Valerie Hawthorne gave Dahlia a warning. She told her she was going to reveal to the world the whole truth. Oh, that she was alive, right. The whole truth. There was a dangerously important secret between Valerie and Dahlia. That's the reason Dahlia felt she had to kill Valerie. To keep her mouth shut permanently. Objection! Terrific story, Miss Fey, if you like fiction, that is. Enlighten the court, Miss Fey. What was the secret that was so important? Where's your evidence? Dahlia and Valerie Hawthorne and Terry Falls. There's only one important secret that connects them all. Oh yes, I know the secret. Your Honor, the defense would like to request further testimony. Oh, a testimony? Regarding the kidnapping 5 years ago, we believe it will explain a lot of things. Such as the nature of the important secret between the Hawthorne sisters. And as someone who lives in Australia, Hawthorne is a football team, so I find this very funny. Very well, I grant your request for further testimony. I know it will be painful for you, but can you enlighten us? But can enlighten us once more, my little maple leaf? Yes, I'll try, Mr. Judge. Putting on the old charm one more time, Dahlia. But this will be the last time you hide behind your womanly lies. "5 years ago, I was kidnapped by Mr. Falls. The ransom prize was a raw diamond. My sister Valerie brought it to the bridge. After she made the exchange, she shot Mr. Falls in the arm. That's when Mr. Falls tried to kill me by shoving me off the bridge from behind. I survived, but I was afraid I might have been kidnapped again for my family's money. Sorry. So I decided to change my identity and start a new life. The kidnapping left her emotionally scarred. With her sister's help, she left the Hawthorne family and started all over again. And where to believe after all that she murdered her sister? Preposterous. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Miss Fey? Yes, Your Honor. As you've heard, the witness is still traumatized from the kidnapping. I'll ask you again to be extremely gentle in your cross-examination. Mr. Edgeworth got the jump on me again. Huh. If we're not allowed to fight, then let's twist some arms. Listen up. We've still got that info, that ace up our sleeve. What info? Come on, kitten. Don't say you've forgotten already. The fact that the kidnapping 5 years ago was staged. That's right, it was a fake kidnapping. Terry Falls told us that in the lobby. I do anything she says, anything Dahlia says. What are you saying is the kidnapping 5 years ago was planned by... Yes, me and Dahlia, and Valerie too. Yes, that's it. The fake kidnapping is your best shot, Mia. That's her secret. "5 years ago, I was kidnapped by Mr. Falls. The ransom prize was raw diamonds. Okay. After she made the exchange, that's when Mr. Falls tried to kill me by shoving me off the bridge from behind. Really? This makes sense. You wouldn't have landed in the water then.
Objection!
You say that Mr. Falls pushed you into the Eagle River. However, that's hard to believe. And that's true! I've had a push on my back. I'm certain of it. It was Mr. Falls. I'm sorry. I guess I wasn't clear enough. It shouldn't have said that's hard. I shouldn't have said that's hard to believe. I should have said that's impossible. Impossible? I asked that the court recall the condition of Dusky Bridge, now and 5 years ago. The bridge hasn't changed one bit in those last 5 years. If someone had pushed you from behind, as you have claimed, instead of being carried away by the river, you would have been smashed by the bedrock below, a most certain death. Do you understand now, Dahlia Hawthorne? The very notion that my client pushed you from behind is impossible. Your Honor, this event occurred 5 years ago. Why, for all we know, the water level in the river may have been higher back then. But it's 40 feet from the bridge to the river. Small change in the water level wouldn't have made a difference. You're right, if the events occurred just the witness testified, then the defendant couldn't have pushed the witness into the river. Young lady, what is the meaning of this? You see, Got you at a loss for words. Just a moment, Your Honor. It's true that the witness testified that the defendant pushed her into the river. However, she never stated that she fell from the back end of the bridge. What do you mean? After being shot in the arm, it's plausible that Mr. Falls panicked. Therefore, he could have unwittingly pushed her off the side of the bridge. If that's true, she would have fallen into the river. Well, Miss Hawthorne, is Mr. Edgeworth's explanation correct? Now that you mention it, I do remember now, when I fell off the bridge, my skirt got caught on one of the bridge's side wires. Can't be serious! Seems Miss Fey's assault has finally reached its conclusion. Not now, Miss Mia. There's no time to retreat. Fortunately for you, this is just the start of Miss Fey's assault. What? I believe your reasoning went something like this, Mr. Edgeworth. After being shot in the arm, it's plausible that Mr. Falls panicked. Therefore, he could have unwittingly pushed her off the side of the bridge. However, once again, I'm forced to say that's impossible. Ridiculous! What's so impossible about it? Because your flawed logic contradicts the court record. I think it's this. Because pushing her over the edge, you'd have to lift her up. Your Honor, all of the answers are right here in this photo. Take a look at the wires supporting both sides of the bridge. They extend up to about 5 feet off the ground. It will be impossible to push someone off from there. But let's remember the size and strength of the defendant. Wires like this wouldn't be a problem for him. He could have easily picked up a 14-year-old girl and thrown her over. So young and already so forgetful, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Falls had been shot in the right arm. And more importantly, Valerie Hawthorne had a gun trained on him at point-blank range. So, Mr. Falls throwing the witness off the bridge, that is clearly impossible. Beat it, Edgeworth. I may love you, but I love Godot more. What is the meaning of this? Dahlia Hawthorne, you jumped into the Eagle River intentionally. What is this? You wanted the diamond. Indeed, why did you mean by such a ridiculous remark? Yes, it's ridiculous. My sister was there to help me. She had her gun and handcuffs. She couldn't have saved me. Jumping into a raging river like that would have been suicide. Perhaps, but still, that's exactly what you did. You were probably confident that you could handle the swift current. But even more so, the witness had much more compelling reason for jumping into the river. Oh, then what is it? What was so important that she'd want to jump into the river? The witness is still alive. The fact alone explains everything. This is why she risked her life by jumping into the rapids of the Eagle River. 5 years ago, something else disappeared along with Dahlia that day. The item that Valerie brought up the mountain with her. The $2 million diamond. It can't be. Yes, Dahlia had it all planned from the beginning. The $2 million, she was going to keep it all for herself. She forced Mr. Falls to help her fake the kidnapping. At the last minute, she betrayed him and threw herself into the river, with the ransom tucked away safely in her backpack. Why is that simply ridiculous? No more objections. 5 years ago, the witness was only 14 years old. Do you really think a 14-year-old is capable of such a demonic plan? This woman is a demon. And there was one more person who helped make a demon out of her. Her sister, Valerie Hawthorne. You mean the victim was involved in the kidnapping plot as well? But she was a detective then. You're saying she participated in her sister's kidnapping? Precisely. I'm sure that it weighed heavily on her conscience for the past 5 years. This is the sole reason behind the victim's murder. What do you mean by that? On the day of the murder, after receiving the phone call from Mr. Falls, Valerie called her sister Dahlia, and then she told her what she was planning to do. Planning to do? She was going to tell the whole truth, as she wrote in her note. That is what sealed Valerie Hawthorne's fate. That is when you hatched your demonic plan to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Plan that would ensure neither of your accomplices to the kidnapping would talk. And that is why you killed your own sister, Valerie Hawthorne. Who is that laughing at a time like this? There she is. The bitch. Forgive me. It's just hilarious. Witness! Is that you? You amuse me, woman, Miss Maya Fey. You can certainly weave an exciting tale. Naturally, you have the evidence to back it up, don't you? Evidence? Evidence that I planned the kidnapping, of course. That at 14 I plotted it with Mr. Falls and my sister. Well, And one more thing. What happened to the $2 million diamond? If you can't provide evidence to at least show that. Well, Miss Fey? I don't know. What a joke. You, Miss Fey. Are you stupid or something? How can I prove a fake kidnapping that happened 5 years ago? I don't even have decisive proof of Valerie Hawthorne's murder. Well, it seems that we've come to the end. To be honest, the witness's behavior does rise does raise certain suspicions. However, I am forced to reject the assertions made by the defense. Of course you are. Is this it? Is it really over? The girl has made a fool of me and there's nothing I can do about it. Without evidence, the trial is over. Who decided that? Mr. Armando! Come on now, kitten. Haven't you figured it out yet? You can make your own rules. For example, even if there's no evidence, there's still testimony. Bring out the falls! Testimony? On the day in question, Dahlia Hawthorne murdered her sister, Valerie Hawthorne. She hid her body in the trunk of Mr. Falls' stolen car, and then went to meet him. Disguised as her sister, Valerie Hawthorne. That's what you think, right? Yes, that's right. In that case, there's only one answer, right? There's only one person left who can testify about Valerie Hawthorne's murder. Since there's no proof, there's only one thing left to do. Who is that one person who can testify to the demon woman's crimes? Edgeworth! Your Honor, the defense wishes to call a new witness. A new witness? Yes, we would like to hear the testimony of Terry Falls. The defendant? There's only one person that can shed any further light on the situation. Only one person that knows what Dahlia's role in the kidnapping was. Only one person that can say whether the person in the photo was Valerie Hawthorne, or whether it was in fact her younger sister Dahlia disguised as her. There's only one person who can solve this riddle for once and for all. And that person is Terry Falls. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what is your take on this? Why not? The prosecution has no objection. Very well. Bailiff, bring the defendant to the witness stand. This is my last chance, Mr. Falls. My last chance to establish Dahlia's guilt. You're all I have left. Defendant, you've heard everything that's been said up to this point, yes? I don't believe it. No way. Dahlia died 5 years ago. Valerie betrayed me. Mr. Falls, I don't know what she said to you 5 years ago, but one thing's clear. Dahlia is very much alive, and you were used for $2 million. That's not true. Mr. Falls, there's only one question I want the answer to. 2 days ago on Dusky Bridge, who did you meet? Was it Valerie Hawthorne or was it Dahlia Hawthorne? Dahlia, did you betray me? 5 years ago she promised never ever betray each other. Terry. Dahlia. It's true. You're alive! You don't trust me anymore. That makes me sad. Tell the truth, the real truth! I believed in you! I shouldn't need to say it, you should already know it. But there is one thing that I will say. My life is in your hands right now, Terry. Leah... I will allow Mr. Falls to testify once and once only. Well then, Mr. Falls, yours will be the final testimony in this trial. Witness. I'm sorry, I apologize. Well, water, please, water. Can't talk, need water. Oh, well, I guess it'll have to be my coffee instead. At least it'll match the way he's probably feeling right now. Darker and bitter than hell itself. Imagine if they switched. Armando or Godot gets the bowl and Falls gets the coffee cup. That'd be hilarious. That day, 4 p.m. I stopped the car. I was in front of the bridge. She wasn't there, so I waited on the bridge. I watched my car from bridge. I never put nobody in the car. Finally, one woman came. She stood in front of me. We talked. Then she left. That was Valerie. Not my Dahlia. Mr. Falls, you're covering for her. Do you think she would do the same for you? That's enough, Miss Fey. His last statement was a fitting way to end the final testimony of the trial. Well then, Miss Fey, please proceed with your cross-examination. Is this how you wanted to end, Mr. Falls? Another guilty verdict to go along with your death sentence. There's only one person who can stop it. You, kitten. I think. I don't have a good feeling about this. Yep, wrong one.
Objection!
There. So when you got to the bridge, no one had arrived, huh? So you waited on the bridge. You sure of that? Yeah, I'm sure. You're sure, huh? Well, then I'm sure too, Mr. Falls. I'm sure that you're lying. He's crying. Oh, I would love to hear your rationale on this, Miss Fey. You want to know who arrived at the bridge first? Just look at this photo. It's perfectly clear. Obviously, the person that came first would be the one at the end of the bridge, right? That's the victim at the end of the bridge. No, it isn't, you bitch. Precisely my point. In other words, Mr. Falls, you must have arrived at the bridge after she did. Mr. Falls, please don't get so worked up. We just want the truth. I got there around 4 o'clock. It's true. I had somewhere to go, a special place. Did you go to this special place before you went to the bridge? Yeah, it's an old temple about 15 minutes from the bridge. 5 years ago, me and Dahlia, we promised each other. We swore we wouldn't betray each other. She brought a memento to represent our love. A memento? 5 years ago, I hid it under the base of a tree there. Oh, it's a special memory for me. This is it. This is what I went to get, the necklace. This little bottle on a necklace is your memento. It's quite charming. But it looks empty. Your Honor, I heard what my client said. He arrived at the scene at 4 o'clock. But he then left his car unattended and walked away. He was gone for approximately 30 minutes. With that much time, Dahlia Hawthorne could have easily hidden the body in the trunk of the car. Indeed, there certainly was enough time for it. Still got a chance. Mr. Falls, there's no mistaking it. Huh? Mr. Falls? What the hell? It's bleeding. That's enough, please. Oh no. Witness? I had promised her 5 years ago. If it ever happens, that we can't trust each other no more. The poison! We're supposed to drink bottle... No way! Stop the trial! Your Honor, we need a recess. I was stupid. Couldn't keep promise. So I did it. I drank this. No, we're so close, just a little more. I was gonna prove your innocence. No, don't want that. Don't trust self. Maybe kill again. Kill sweet Dahlia again. Mr. Armando, thanks for the coffee. Holy shit! And that's why Dahlia goes free, because there's no one to prove it. So my first trial ended suddenly and tragically. It ended with no winners, only losers. That's why she never went back for a whole year. I ended up with a wound that cut so deep into my soul I thought I'd never heal. I'm sure it was the same for the young prosecutor as well. But one person, the true criminal, Dahlia Hawthorne, she left the courtroom with a secret smile on her demonically sweet face. Unforgivable, that witch. But Mr. Armando, we were so close to the truth, it was right there in front of us. You were just a little too soft, kitten. It's my fault? It's all my fault that Mr. Falls killed himself. Don't cry, kitten. You're gonna make my coffee all salty. I knew it. I knew I wasn't cut out for this. Mia. Don't you get it? You can't cry yet. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over. Mr. Armando. No matter how tough the case, no matter how bitter the memories, they always fade over time. Then you file them away and eventually forget them. One year later, in this very same courthouse, I myself got wrapped up in that case. Only after that did Dahlia Hawthorne get put on trial for her crimes. The verdict that was ultimately handed down to her was guilty. Naturally, when the verdict was read, she had a perfect angelic smile on her face. It was finally all over. At least, that's what I thought at the time. Unfortunately, I couldn't have been more wrong. It's been 5 years, but now something has happened that's made me remember all this. Is that what episode 5 is going to be about? Is Dahlia going to come back? Holy shit. Oh, my head. Bridge to the turnabout. Are we going to go back to the bridge? Are we going to that bridge again? Holy shit. There's Edgeworth. Oh, Edgeworth. Oh, my head. Like, there's been so many deaths in this game, but you never actually see someone kill themselves over that. You never see them kill themselves in a trial. Well, I mean, there was that time when Richard, in the first case of Justice for All, strangled himself and I thought he died, but he didn't. But yeah, what the hell? Bloody Dahlia. Whew. Well, either way, next time it's going to be Bridge the Turnabout. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys next time. See ya.